Were you there for the debut of Sting and Ultimate Warrior in Memphis?
Unfortunately, I was. I have an old picture of me. I managed them for about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 weeks or something. They were horrible. They weren't that good. They were worse than horrible. Horrible would have been an upgrade.
Oh, dearie
Yeah,
me.
and I
Yeah.
was there. So what's the question? I
The,
was there.
the
Yeah,
question was, yeah, the question was, is well, they didn't actually debut in Memphis. I thought they were somewhere else briefly, and then they came to Memphis. And
I think they came right to Memphis from some training school in California, and I knew the guy's name, but I don't remember it now.
Rick
But
Bassman or Ron Bassman or something.
it was Bassman, Rick Bassman. They came straight from that school to Memphis,
Mm.
and they were. I mean, they should have still been buying a ticket. Actually, they were still basically fans.
Why would, apart from the look, obviously, why would Laurel or Dundee or Jerry Jarrett, whoever sort of brought them in, why would they take a punt on two complete green novices who've never wrestled practically before ever?
I don't know. That's a good. That's what we were asking in the dressing room. These guys never had. I think they had. I don't know if they had their first match in Memphis, but they hadn't had many matches at all when they got to Memphis. They were just straight out of the training school.
Were you pretty, let's say, a bit disappointed that wrestling was sort of going to the bodies more? Because I know it started more or less with the Road Warriors, at least where tag teams are concerned. Were you just like, oh, now it's going to happen everywhere, or it's just going to be overrun by bodybuilders?
Well, I think everybody got where the wrestling was headed in the early '80s. Because if you couldn't work for the two companies, WCW or WWF, that's what they were before they changed their name, you really couldn't make any money. I mean, and that's why a lot of guys had to get out and start doing something else. And even the independent shows they were trying to promote, they weren't drawing. I mean, independent shows today draw more than they did back in 40 years ago. And I don't know why, but I guess it's because the live shows don't come around that much anymore. But, in Memphis, it's hard to believe this, but we had core towns, like towns we would go to every week. It was Memphis, Louisville, Evansville, Indiana, don't ask me why, Nashville, and Lexington once a month. And it was hard to keep those. And when you're running a town every week and doing a TV every week, when the WWE came along, and I said it before, when you see the bells and whistles of WWE, and then you see what the local promoter has, it doesn't match up, and that's why they died out. Hmm. So I had another answer, but I forgot what it was now. What was the question again?
I can't remember. I'll ask you something else. With Sting and Ultimate Warrior or Jim Hellwig, how much did you talk to either of them? How much advice did you give them? And which of the two, before you knew obviously Sting would be the better wrestler, which of the two did you think would make it more in the business, if you thought either of them would make it in the business at all?
No, I thought they would kind of make it, but I didn't think they would make it to the degree they made it. The stiffest one I saw, you asked me who was stiffer or rougher, Warrior. I swear to God, I've been in easier street fights. Oh my God, when he blew up one night with me. No, maybe this is another guy, but he would blow up because they looked great, but they had no conditioning. They couldn't go 10 minutes in a single match. They would just be huffing and puffing. I mean, they look great when they put their muscles up like this. But if they had to do any kind of cardio work, like they couldn't do it. And then that's when you would get hurt. Because when he was trying to throw a punch and he's tired, he knocked one guy out one night. Warrior did, give him a clothesline. Didn't hit him here, he hit him here. Oh, and they weren't very good. And I thought who would make it the best? I thought maybe Warrior would, because he had a better body than Sting. And neither one of them were very friendly, to tell you the truth. They weren't talkers. You know, for you to help somebody, you gotta, they gotta be able to talk, and you gotta get a liking for them. Well, nobody ever got a liking for Warrior or Sting because they weren't socially talkative. Let me say that.
I think it's amazing that when, well, maybe not amazing, but when people say how come that guy was successful or not successful in the business, they never seem to think about how well they integrate into the locker room and how personable they are and how easy they are to get along with, because that matters a huge amount.
Well, when you read things about Warrior now, nobody ever says how friendly he was. Nobody ever says how friendly Sting was, ever. Because who liked them were the owners and the bookers. That's who liked them. So they didn't have to be socially active in the dressing room, which they should have been. Because if I'm going to work with a guy, I want to get to know him a little bit. I want him to like me. So when we go and I suggest something, I'm not suggesting something just for me. It's for us. Because if we're putting this match together, you're helping me, so you're my partner. So I want you to like me as not only as a performer, but as a person, because that changes the whole level of interaction between the two. But neither one of them were ever. I mean, they would ride with each other, and we would pass them on the interstates going up, or they would pass us. And here would be one of them driving like this, and the other sitting on the other side like this. They weren't talking. They were just looking ahead. They looked like robots. It's what they looked like to me. And I said, there's something up with those two guys. I don't know. But anyway, that was my interaction with them. And I never said, when you tell them something in the dressing room, the Warrior would just look at you like, is he here or not? Where is he? Is he off of that damn Santa Fe, New Mexico? Where is his head right now? Because it wasn't in that room when I was talking to him. I mean, there was something odd about those two. There's something strange about those two.
You've told me before that the where you learn the most is when you're in the car driving from town to town. So if they were just those two on their own, not speaking at all, it goes to show they didn't learn anything, at least in the short-term period.